Thank you very much for joining me today. So we're here as part of the INWED 2021 celebrations. You have been nominated as an engineering hero by your colleagues. Congratulations. So perhaps we could start by you telling us a little bit about your area of work and research.
Hi, Paula. Thanks for speaking with me today. So my area of work looks to improve our fundamental understanding of radiotherapy. So I'm looking at how healthy and cancerous tissues respond to different types of radiation treatments. So this involves engineering new ways of taking measurements to then help us model responses so we can try and decide what the best treatments are for our patients. So at the minute, Cancer Research UK quotes that 1 in 2 people will get cancer at some point in their life, and this could strike at any age and at any time. So it's really essential that we understand how our treatments are impacting patients of all ages, both to cure them and also to give them a better quality of life in the future.
Amazing, thank you. And could you perhaps explain how that links to one of the United Nations Sustainable Goals?
So one of the UN's goals is to try and ensure healthy lives and promoting well-being for all at all ages. So I think this really fits in with that goal specifically.
Yes, agreed. Thank you. And what's your favourite part of your job?
I think my favourite part is not knowing what the next day will bring. So I'm very fortunate that I have the freedom to explore all my different ideas, create experiments that I hope will one day answer some of the key questions that we have in cancer research. So within my area of research, I'm able to work with lots of different people, from clinicians to biologists to physicists, and this makes it all very interesting. But it also really forces me to think of the best ways to explain my work to others so that they can really understand, firstly, what I'm trying to do, but also for them to be able to give me feedback to help us all achieve our goals sooner.
Amazing, that sounds really varied and interesting, thank you. So you've been nominated as an engineering hero, as we said, congratulations. I just wondered if you had an engineering hero or heroine, or if something or somebody inspired you to want to become an engineer.
Yeah, I think for me it was always the something. It was that I really wanted to be able to work on something that would help people in some kind of way. So I'd always enjoyed maths and physics at school, and luckily the further I got in my education, the more I became aware that I could put these passions and these skills to use in medical research. And that was always the pull for me, knowing that I could actually do what I loved. And then if I made some tiny contribution, one day that tiny little contribution may make a huge difference and then really help people.
I'm sure it will. Thank you. And finally, what advice would you give a young woman today who wanted to enter the field of STEM?
I think my advice would be that even if you are the tiniest bit curious about studying or working in a STEM related field, it would be to really try and explore all the different avenues that are available. So go to university open days, go to taster courses to get a real feel for what it's like. Talk to people, email people, see if you can shadow them to see what their job is actually like, and see, is this the job that you think it is? You've got nothing to lose by doing all these things, but it really gives you a better idea of what this career will be like. Because the issue is that STEM related work covers such a huge variety of courses and jobs. So it's really hard to know what will actually suit you best unless you do a bit of exploring. So one thing that I've learned working in this field is that it's never quite what you expect. And that's not to say that's not a negative thing. It's just that I want to highlight that if someone digs in a bit deeper, they'll probably find that they have themselves a lot of misconceptions of what the job is like, and also in terms of their own capabilities of doing the job. So I know when I first started, I really didn't know how to get to where I wanted to be. I wanted to help people. I wanted to make a difference. And at each stage, I was a bit unsure and I was a bit hesitant. But I tried to talk to as many people as I could to try and get work experience in a variety of science-related jobs to see what would fit me best. And luckily, I found research worked for me. It allowed me to mold my work into whatever I was interested in, and it gave me the opportunity to constantly develop my skills. So I'm happy to say that I truly love my job, and I'm glad that I gave into that curiosity all those years ago and persevered with it to get to where I am today.
That's great news and great advice. Thank you very much, and thank you for joining me today.